Happy 4th of July. Are you worried? Red, white, and blue? I am. I got red shirt with white polka dots and blue shorts. I almost wore mine, but it's getting a hole in it, so I'm going to have to let it go. I'm going to have to get another one. I have one that's got silhouettes of soldiers on it, and it says, home of the free because of the brave. So I like to wear that on 4th of July, but I'm afraid that one's it's got to go. It's gotten too old. I got this one from Stitch Fix recently. I went to the dentist yesterday and got my cap finally, and the temporary cap they put on, I don't know if it's too big or what, but I keep biting my cheek. And I told them that, and they're like, oh, it's probably just because your mouth's numb. Well, here it is, 24 hours later, I'm still doing it, so I got to call on Monday because I don't want my permanent cap to be like this where I keep biting my cheek. I have to really concentrate and go, so I don't bite my cheek. I have some 4th of July would you rathers. Would you rathers, I think, tells a lot about who you are. I think they're interesting. Looking at something I would rather not, I need to vacuum because the boys tracked in mud again. So that's the deficit to having a dog, but I wouldn't give up my boy for nothing. So alrighty, let's go. Would you rather watch community fireworks show or have fireworks at home? I don't really do either anymore, but when the kids were little, we'd do fireworks at home, and then when they got bigger, we started doing the community one, and now I don't really do either. Would you rather eat hot dogs or hamburgers? I know it's un-American, but I don't like hamburgers. When I'd go to barbecues or whatever, I'd always bring hot dogs for the kids. So I'd have something I wanted. Actually, I'd prefer sausage as opposed to hot dogs. Celebrate 4th of July at the beach or at Disney World? I'd much rather go to the beach. Disney World's just... I don't agree with Disney's political rhetoric they're shoving down our throats anymore, but also it's just too crowded at Disney and too much walking. I'm getting too old for Disney, I guess. Do a campfire or a barbecue? Probably have somebody else do a barbecue. Go over and have somebody who smoked a good brisket would be yummy. Visit the Statue of Liberty or Mount Rushmore? Oh, gee, I've never done either, and I'd like to do both. Since it's 4th of July, I'll say Statue of Liberty. That seems more representative of the United States. Eat a red, white, and blue popsicle or have s'mores? Oh, I'll take the s'mores all day. I love s'mores. And I did find recently I found some gluten-free graham crackers, so I could make s'mores. Not that I need them. I've been gaining weight like crazy. Ugh. I don't know what my problem is. Only wear red, white, and blue or only pajamas? Well, I've got red, white, and blue on, but I wouldn't mind a pajama day either. Those are always fun. But since I live at home, I can have a pajama day any day I want. If I get that young man living with me, that Chinese student that I'm looking into having lived with me for the school year, I'll have to get dressed before I leave my bedroom. I can't run around in PJs in front of him anymore. Ride on a 4th of July float or sing the national anthem in front of a crowd? I don't mind singing in front of people, but that one's hard to sing. I'll ride on the float. That sounds fun. Eat spicy watermelon or barbecue flavored cake? Spicy watermelon sounds kind of intriguing. The barbecue flavored cake, not so much. Plus, I'm gluten-free, so I probably couldn't eat it anyway. Have a pool party or camp out? Oh, I love the pool. I am a pool girl all the way. I so miss living with my kids in their pool. Wear a patriotic hat or star sunglasses for a week? I'll take the sunglasses. When I first got my lens implant, so I didn't have to wear glasses anymore, my daughter-in-law got me heart-shaped glasses. They were cheap, and she just did it as a joke. They didn't last very long. They fell apart pretty quickly, but it was kind of fun wearing little red heart-shaped glasses. Excuse me. Dress up like Uncle Sam or the Statue of Liberty for the day. Probably be more comfortable dressing up like Uncle Sam, because Statue of Liberty you'd have to put green paint on. Spend the 4th of July at an amusement park or a water park. Probably a water park, and I just stay on a float and float down the lazy river. I think I skipped a couple. No, I guess not. Make red, white, and blue Jell-O or bake a flag-shaped cake. I've done both. Well, I didn't do a flag-shaped cake. I did a rectangle cake, and then you frosted with Cool Whip, and then you use blueberries for the stars and strawberries for the stripes. So I've made both. I've made the multicolored watermelon. Not watermelon. I was still thinking about that spicy watermelon. Jell-O. So I could do either one. Be in a hot dog or a pie eating contest. I've watched hot dog eating contests, and they're just so gross to watch. Pie eating contests are kind of fun to watch with. They're like, I'll take the pie eating contest. Watch a parade or watch a fireworks display. Fireworks. Have a picnic at the park or a barbecue in your own backyard. I'll take the barbecue in the backyard, but I'd rather be somebody else's backyard because I'm not that great a griller and go over to somebody else's house that grills good. Use sparklers or glow sticks. Sparklers. Gotta have sparklers, although there's been years I've lived in California and in Texas where they pretty much outlaw fireworks because of the fire hazards. And my son, one of the first years he was a firefighter, it's all construction, all buildings now, but back in the day, when we first moved here, there was no commercial buildings at all in the little town I live in. Well, it's not so little anymore, but the town I lived in when I moved here 30 years ago, and there was this then they eventually built one grocery store and a big field next to it, and there's this old fallen down shack, and kids, I don't know if they did it on purpose or it was fireworks, but they lit the place on fire, and my son had to go help put it out. Kids. Eat a hamburger with pickles or a hot dog with mayonnaise. Ugh. Can I eat the hot dog with the pickles? I like dill pickles, though, not sweet pickles. Ugh. If I have a hot dog, I either want barbecue, I like it almost burnt with barbecue sauce and onions, or mustard and dill pickle relish. But I don't like hamburgers. The spicy pickle sounds pretty good, but I don't like hamburgers. If I'm forced to eat a hamburger, I gotta goop that thing up, lots of barbecue sauce and the onions and all that to take the taste away, because my mother used to get so mad at me, and she's like, you like steak, why don't you like hamburgers? Because we were pretty poor and we couldn't afford steak. We'd have hamburgers, and I don't know, it tastes different to me. I just don't like hamburgers. I'll eat it in something like spaghetti or tacos or something where it's with something else, but just a hamburger, would you rather your birthday be on the 4th of July or on Halloween? I never much cared for Halloween. I'll take the 4th of July. Be a bald eagle for a day or a famous celebrity for a day. Ooh, I'd be the bald eagle, flying way over everything. That'd be fun. Famous celebrities, I don't think they have as great a life as we think they do. They're rich, but most of them are unhappy. And they're pretty much prisoners, because everywhere they go, paparazzi follows them around and people judge them even though they don't know them, they judge them by who they think they are. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be a celebrity. No thanks. Have a red nose or blue hair. I would say blue hair, but blue hair has got to be synonymous with crazy, way far left people. So I don't know about the blue hair. How about red hair? Talk like George Washington for the day or dress like Uncle Sam. Well, I have no idea how George Washington talked, so that'd be pretty easy because nobody else knows either. You could say whatever you want. And I think I already said I'd dress like Uncle Sam back in another one, so I'll talk like George Washington. How are you going to know if I'm right or not? Be president or a movie star. Ugh, I wouldn't want to be either one. It used to be, is that the end of it? Yeah, that's the last one. It used to be, when I was a kid, it was, you'd want your sons to grow, not your daughters, but, back in the 50s, you want your son to grow up to be president. And now you don't, look at what they've done to Donald Trump. I mean, they're just everybody hates on him so much. Even if I didn't believe in his politics, I would think it was wrong the way they treat him, how they're so hateful towards him all the time. I don't think anybody ought to have to suffer that. So I wouldn't want to be that. And we already discussed how I'd feel about being a celebrity or movie star where, people love you or hate you and don't even know you. So I wouldn't want to be either one. So anyway, I hope you're having a good 4th of July. As far as I know, I'm not doing nothing. I'm going to go to Dollar Tree and see if they have their school supplies yet so I can buy the stuff for the school supply Dollar Tree train that we're going to do in a couple weeks. So far, I haven't been able to find any school supplies, but they said I don't know, maybe not. Maybe it's too soon to go because they said they were going to start putting them out after 4th of July. So I guess I ought to wait and go later in the week or even next week. So maybe I won't go to Dollar Tree. I do have to go pick up, I picked up some pictures of Walgreens, and there's one of my circle, which is like my small group. She's going to leave and start her own group because we're trying to, expand how many groups we have because ours is getting kind of big. So she's going to split off and start her own group. So they asked me to hand make her a card because I hand make cards. And I uploaded a picture of all of us to Walgreens, and I wanted it 4x4 so I'd have room to put G-Gels around it on the card. And they cut it so that they cut everybody's heads off. And you just had the carpet, which was not useful, and people's chests, but not their heads, and not some people on the sides. So I'm just like, what the heck? So then I went on the CVS website, and there you could adjust the picture the way you wanted it. So I'm going to go pick up. I made several so I could kind of play with ideas because I don't need to make one card, but I had several pictures printed so I can, if I goof one up or cut, I might have to cut it down a little more if I cut too much or whatever. I wanted to give myself some extras just in case. So I'm going to go pick that up and then go to Aldi's. I'm out of bread, and Aldi's is, if you're gluten-free, Aldi's is the best place to get bread because most places like Walmart or Kroger or whatever, they have these loaves of bread that are about this long and the slices are about this big and they're $9. But Aldi's it's a regular, maybe it's a little bit shorter loaf of bread, but it's, longer loaf of bread, and the slices are like, they're not maybe as big as some like Wonder Bread slices or whatever, but they're a lot bigger than the ones everybody else has. So, and they're $6.99, so you get probably twice as much bread for $3 cheaper. So I always get my gluten-free bread at Aldi's. So if you're gluten-free, there's your tip for the day. Go to Aldi's to get your bread. And they have a whole grain one and a white one. So I'm going to go to Aldi's and go pick up my pictures and go to Aldi's. And that's my exciting 4th of July. And my house has a huge bank of windows. like one whole, it's like a windows and then the sliding glass door and then another bank of windows. So it's got tons of windows and they look out over the freeway, but they also look towards the little town that's the next little town over that does their 4th of July fireworks. My little town doesn't do it, but the next town over does. And everybody just goes over there. So from my kitchen, basically, or living room, I guess, even, I can see the fireworks. So why go out and get bit by mosquitoes when I can see it from my own house? Although I've got big trees in my yard and they get in the way some, but the fireworks usually go up enough where I'll go sit out. Maybe I'll go sit outside so I can see better, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll go see fireworks or not because I don't want the boy freaking out if I go outside with the fireworks. If he's inside, they don't seem to bother him as much, but we'll see. I don't remember. This is only the 2nd July I've had him. I don't remember how he was last July. I don't think he was freaky, but I took him in the bedroom and closed. I have blackout curtains, so I took him in the bedroom and put the blackout curtains up and closed all the doors and windows and stuff, so he wasn't really able to see the flashes, or the sound was muffled. But I don't know, my neighbors, like 3 o'clock this morning, some idiot was out there putting off fireworks, and so it's probably going to be even worse tonight. People don't think about people with dogs. And that's why I don't let him out at night with the fireworks. I lock him in because dogs get freaked out and they somehow get out of their yard and run off and get lost all the time. And I told you my son being a firefighter, I don't know how many times he's had to go on calls where some idiot burned their hand really bad or blew it off messing around with things the way they shouldn't be. There's certain ways you handle fireworks, and some people are idiots, so they end up doing major damage to themselves because they're being idiots. All right, on that note, no, really, just hope you're having fun with your family, having a barbecue. From us down here in Texas, have a brisket, but up north and more hamburgers and hot dogs, I guess y'all have. Maybe some pork chops or something. I think brisket's more a southern thing. I don't think they do brisket up north or out west too much. But it's definitely a Texas thing that, like, it's already going, the brisket would be, because you slow smoke it for like 16 hours or more. And it just falls apart practically. It's yummy. Get that smoke flavor. Making me hungry. I haven't had breakfast yet. All righty, love y'all. This is getting to be too long. Happy 4th of July.